Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Power Rangers issue 21. So this issue basically picks up right where we left off. There was like a cliffhanger about something happening to Jason's mother, and if you want to find out about that, you have to read the last two issues of Mighty Morphin. I feel like it was a little bit awkwardly paced. I mean, obviously it was kind of meant to be a crossover-ish story, but it is just kind of weird that it almost seems like you could have skipped over that entirely, which I guess it doesn't necessarily pertain to the main plot. It does kind of pertain to some of the emotional connections between Andros and Jason, but it is just kind of weird how you had that on Mighty Morphin, and like last we left him in Mighty Morphin 21, you had Jason kind of at home and Trini going shopping with Kimberly, and now we're all back almost like nothing happened. I mean, obviously Zhane mentions their absence and, you know, worrying about another absence, but it is just kind of strange for me, but it's not a huge deal. Anyway, speaking of Zhane, we're continuing the classic sci-fi trope of finding an alien baby that ages up. You know, it didn't go as fast as I thought it would because we previously found Zhane and then they aged up to like a little kid, and I thought they were going to be a teenager before that, but now they're a teenager now. And we're doing the classic trope of not only the aging baby, but also the classic trope of the parents dealing with the teenager aging, because the Zhane's in a rebellious phase, you know, going against everything Zach and Trini say, you know, hijinks ensue. Zach and Trini don't know how to deal with it, obviously, because they're still teenagers. And then Zhane gets a crush on this guy that's like, he was a guy from earlier in the series, I think around the beginning of this arc, where he attacked, I think it was Zach with a spear, but he attacked the Rangers and he was upset about all the trouble the Rangers had caused. But so Zhane's got a crush on him, and they got a couple scenes together, and they kind of have a nice scene later on. Again, kind of that cliche scene of the teen complaining about their parents, and then the person they're talking to is like, you know, what's worse than having parents to complain about is having no parents or having no one to care about you. So kind of one of those nice little scenes there. But we're kind of doing that storyline with Zhane that's going on right now. Meanwhile, while that's going on, if you remember, they were hunting down the Astro megaship. They find the location of it. Andros wants to go by himself, but of course the Rangers won't let him go by himself. And the reason he obviously wants to go by himself is because he has ulterior motives. Because if you also remember, he's got the Death Ranger morpher now from the original Omega Rangers. So they make their way to the ship and they fight, and there's some cool moments with it, with Andros fighting alongside the Omega Rangers Zords. Jason questions Andros and says, like, you know, that's a really cool stealth suit that the exclusive figure of is available at Target right now. But don't you want to morph? And Andros basically says, I'm not going to morph until I make this situation right. And how's he going to make the situation right? Well, he sneaks off to find Zhane's cryo chamber and he puts the Death Ranger morpher on him. And that's the cliffhanger we get to at the end of the issue, is Andros and Zhane next to each other, but then Zhane has a creepy zombified mouth and he says, like, hello, Jason. So I'm going to assume that the spirit or whatever, you know, is in the morpher, just like it was talking to Andros and it's possessing Zhane, and it's not like an evil, I mean, it is maybe evil. It is evil, but I mean, it's not like a zombified Zhane. Like, I don't think Zhane is dead. That would definitely be interesting if Andros' actions did lead to Zhane being killed in this arc. That would definitely be a deviation from the timeline. I mean, everything that's happening right now is a deviation from the timeline, but you know what I mean. But it made for a good cliffhanger and creepy teaser to the Death Ranger arc that's upcoming. Also worth noting, obviously, another main plot that's happening is this gang that was under Vox is planning an attack on the Rangers base because they're vulnerable. They're attacking the base, and it's Zhane and the new boyfriend guy, not really boyfriend yet, but you know what I mean, that stumble upon the base being attacked and figure out they have to do something about it. Overall, this was a decent issue. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. It's kind of funny. Oddly enough, I had mentioned this a few issues ago, but this is another issue that reminded me of kind of a classic sci-fi story, you know, where you have the Rangers going on a mission or the characters going on a mission, and then there's one member that has an ulterior motive. Meanwhile, back at the base, you've got some trouble going on that has to be solved. Of course, also wrapped up in the trope, the aging alien baby. It made for, I think it was a good, entertaining issue. I like that there's multiple things going on. I'm very interested in the Death Ranger stuff going on. But it overall just felt kind of generic, like a bunch of like sci-fi cliches in one issue. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't anything mind-blowing. I think the mind-blowing stuff is ahead of us, but it was overall solid. I would give it a 3 out of 5. But what did you guys think of this issue and the cliffhanger? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, before I comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell, so you get notifications for my videos. Awesome Rider, signing out.